And we're live. Hello. Actually, I don't know if this would be called live. It's live right now, though. Hi, everyone. Happy Tuesday night. I think we need to talk about a few things. So, first of all, I hope you're all doing okay. I haven't done a video in a while. Been kind of busy, been kind of depressed, not going to lie. Not depressed, but maybe that's where I should start. So, I put it out there, I think last time I talked about stuff, that we all have bad days. So I hope you guys know by now that I have bad days too. So everyone has bad days. And I think it's important to remember that because for me, sometimes I feel like it's not normal. Like a bad day means I'm weak or like just something's not right. And I guess that's okay to feel that way too. But you got to realize that even Jesus, who's God, okay, cried. He cried when Lazarus died. He cried, I forget when else, but Jesus cried. So, like, we got to remember that Jesus cried. It's as simple as that. Jesus, and Jesus had a bad day. He was crucified, and, that was unjust. And, but just talking about that actually makes me feel better. So I have been getting a little, I don't know if the word is insecure, but something that I did recently that I was proud of is I ran for about 25 minutes straight. So, and I didn't jog run it, I ran. And my knees are not thanking me, but it was a really good run. But I don't know, like there's so much on my mind to talk about tonight as usual. One thing I wanted to say is if you're on Facebook, watch out for the scammers because they are really everywhere. Like I keep finding them and they're like, oh, this is like Jeremy Camp's fan page or like this. And I'm like, it's so obvious in a way, but sometimes it's not. Like somebody will like ask me to be their friend, and one of the people that asked me to be a friend was a friend of one of my mutual friends. Like we have a mutual friend. And I'm like, okay, sure, like I'll accept them. And then I realized they should have never accepted them. Like there was this fake account, and I'm glad I didn't give any information out. You know what I mean? But be careful, especially for young kids, young teenagers and everything. It can be a scary place. It definitely can be. Okay, so, the first thing I want to talk about is God. It really is. I feel like God works in mysterious ways, and through the tears and the sorrows of our days, that just rhymed, but through the tears and the sorrows of our days, we just need to look up to heaven and realize that God is in control. And I think that's like easier said than done. Not easier said than done, but like people like overlook it and be like, oh yeah, God's in control. Okay, yeah. He really is. It's interesting. Like, God made you. Okay, so picture this. You're in the garden and actually, it's not a good example, but like something you make and then it starts moving on its own, or like a doll starts talking on its own. You have control over that doll. Well, if you made it, and then the doll walks, or you help the doll to walk. The doll's not going to be like, oh my gosh, you're not going to take care of me. It's like that. Like God has full coverage. He has full control over everything in your life. And I think for me, I kind of forget that. Like I'll just be like, yeah, he has control, but he's going to no, God is in control. He really is. It's funny. I'm pet sitting and one of the dogs is just looking at me like, oh, cool. But he really is in control. Think about like just anything. He knows like he knew Peter would deny him and stuff, which is kind of scary because if you can see into the future of like what's going to happen, that's probably why you sweat blood in the agony in the garden, because, he knew exactly what was going to happen to him. That being said, so let's move forward and talk about mental health. And I don't mean that in the weird way, although that might sound like a stigma, but I believe that mental health means like your mind is okay. So like me, for example, like I struggle with mental health sometimes when I'm not on meds and stuff, but lately it's been really, really good. And I think we have to remember that. We have to like pour forth our goodness or whatever and just realize that we got to take care of ourselves. And for me, I don't always do that. Like I'm always either working too much. I found I'm a workaholic. I really am. Working too much, worrying about people too much, singing too much. But you got to come down to basic things and be like, I love me. And it might sound selfish, but just be selfish. Like sometimes I go like this, I love me. But no, but it's true. Like you have to love yourself as well as loving others and loving God. Oh wow, it's been 6 minutes already. But anyway, so that's the second thing I want to talk about. So I want to talk about mental health, God, and the third thing I want to talk about is summer. Like, do you guys have any summer plans? Like, for me, I was gonna take a team to a volleyball tournament, and it's okay. I still was gonna go, but I don't know if I'm gonna have enough volleyball players and a new car to go. But that's one thing I wanted to do. Another thing I wanted to do was to go to Lake Erie for my 30th birthday. I can't believe I'm turning 30. It is crazy. It is totally crazy. I literally feel like 19, but I'm not. I'm 10 years older than 19, and I'll be 30. But anyway, if you guys want to talk about something, ask me in the comments, and have a great day. God bless. Love God. Bye. Where's the button?